All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kodash. Second of all, I want to give double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And third of all, I want to give a peace and safety to the hopeful elect out there, the brothers that push this truth, the truth of the King James Bible, and all truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe. All right, so I just want to do a short lesson on how alone the spirit of Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai allows it to go. And I want to name the video the elect won't take the C-hip, but the 2/3 will take the C-hip. All right. And Lord Woods brothers can see on the screen, or whatever title Yahweh Shah sees fit, I'll use. Our great power see fit, I'll use. But Lord Woods brothers can see on the screen, I have this article here from the Zero Hedge, and it says Americans don't want a central bank digital currency. New polls find. All right, so like the scripture say, which I'm gonna get at in St. Matthew the 24th chapter. The Lord said this gospel of the kingdom should be preached in all the world for a witness. All right, roughly paraphrasing, and then shall the end come, which the gospel is the 144,000% truth of the King James Bible. What Revelation chapter 13 verse 16 to 17 is talking about, which is talking about a microchip replacing all forms of cash. The so-called white people are the Edomites. All right, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native and Seminole Indians are the real Israelites. All right, so on and so forth. Many and the true names of God and who the world calls God and Jesus, most importantly, is not God and Jesus, it's Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahweh Shai. All right, those are some of the things that consist of the gospel. All right, there's going to be a third world war. Mystery Babylon is America, and Mystery Babylon, which is America, will be destroyed in the third war or the third world war. Those are some of the things the gospel consists of, which in these times, of course, the most important thing is the names of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, glorifying the names of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. But number two, right now on the list, you could say is teaching about the Charagma, Revelation chapter 13, verse 16 and 17. All right. Right along with all the other prophecies are just important. But right now, those are the two, the names most importantly, because the names are the way you're going to receive salvation. All right, but number two is definitely teaching about the Charagma in these times, which is central bank digital currency. That's the end game of that is the microchip, the C-hip. All right, that's the end game of that. And here in America, they're saying a lot of people don't want to take it, and you got to believe they're watching the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone and brothers ranking on down who push, starting with our elders through the spirit of Power by Shem Shah, starting with our elders that push information about the Charagma nonstop, and it's got out there, and the majority of people are watching and learning and finding out what the penalty is for taking it. But the thing is, the Lord has selected who's going to take it, who's not going to take it. Which the elect's not going to take it, and probably some Edomites and some of the other nations may not take it, but they don't matter. They can take it, whether they take it or they don't take it, they're going to be destroyed either way. But I'm focusing on Israel, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native and Seminole Indians. The Lord have set up the ones who's not going to take it, and He set up the ones that are going to take it, which is 144,000, which will get the victory over the image and His beast, over the image. It's like it over the mark and the image as well, like the scriptures say, but over the mark. But the 2/3 won't get the victory over it. They'll die because they're going to take it. All right, so I'm going to read a little bit of this article. It says a poll from Cato Institution indicates that while about half of Americans do not have an opinion regarding whether the Federal Reserve should begin, those are the sheep. Those are the ones that's going to take it. All right, with a smile on their face. Being offered a government-issued digital currency called a central bank digital currency. Among those with an opinion on the matter, over twice as many, 34% of the poll participants opposed the prospect as supporting it, 16%. Is that number 6? Which because people are watching, man, watching the prophets of the Lord, and they're finding out what this is about. And they know the end game of it through the prophets of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, which are the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who push the prophecy nonstop. It says this result of the poll conducted from February 27th through March 8th is collaboration with YouGov is promising for American Central's certainty about the threat of a CBDC, which the Federal Reserve and big financial companies have been testing in preparation for, and it comes online next month, starting with the Fed Now system. All right, it's the beginning phases of it anyway. For it is potentially introduction proposed to freedom and privacy in America. The poll's results further indicate that if Americans can be educated about the abusive government power a CBDC can advance, many Americans currently, it's like many of Americans currently undecided regarding the introduction of the CBDC will see good reason to oppose it. Emily Elks and Jordan Guy I guess how you pronounce it, wrote in their May 31st in-depth Cato Institution article concerning the poll results. The overwhelming majority would oppose the adoption of a CBDC if it meant that the government could control what people spend their money on. 74% that the government could monitor the spending. 68% that a CBDC will abolish all U.S. cash, and that's the goal: get complete control and get rid of cash. That a CBDC could attract cyber attacks. 65% that the government could change a tax on those who don't, could charge a tax like it on those who don't spend money during the recession. 64% of that government could freeze the digital bank accounts of policy protesters. 59% of Americans were marginally opposed. 52% if a CBDC could some people to stop using private banks, result in some banks could go out of business. Right, so yeah, there you go. I ain't gonna read no more. It goes into politics. They're all a part of the game. Ron DeSantis and Robert Kennedy, they're all, John, whatever his name is, Kennedy. They're all a part of the game, man. They're not, really down with opposing this stuff, with these things. They're all a part of the game. They weren't a part of the game, they would have never made it in the position that they're in. If they are not, they do try to turn, and they'll get JFK the first. They'll get what he got. We all know what he got at the end game for trying to come up against the bankers. So they're all a part of the same game. All right. So, but again, people are watching, man. People are watching the prophets and getting hip to this, and they're opposing it. But the thing is, how about Shem Yahushai? And again, I'm only dealing with Israelites because it don't matter if the other nations take it or not. If it's up to Yahushai who takes it and who doesn't take it amongst our people. And the elect aren't going to take it, but the 2/3 are going to take it, and they're going to die. So let's grab this real quick. Bring this out a lot. It's in Matthew chapter 22, chapter 24, verse 22. I'm at Slakia. St. Matthew chapter 20. St. Matthew chapter 24, verse 14. Salakia. And this gospel of the kingdom should be preached in all the world for a witness unto the end, and then shall the end come. Right, and at the beginning of the video, I mentioned some of the things that the gospel consists of, which right now, one of the most important prophecy right now is the Charagma. All right, the fulfillment of Revelation chapter 13, verses 16 to 17. All right, so the majority of people out there have been warned, like the Lord told us to go out there and warn the people, our people, about this, and they've been warned. But again, it's up to the Lord who takes it, who doesn't take it. All right, this is Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman, and the watchmen are the prophets who have been warning you about the Charagma, who's supposed to be warning you about the Charagma nonstop. And that's what Great Millstone is doing. Unto the house of Israel. The house of Israel, all right? It's all that matters. The house of Israel. The other nations, the white man and all the other nations don't matter. The house of Israel. Therefore, hear the words in my mouth and give them warning for me. And we've been warning through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai about the CBDCs, the Fed Now system, and ultimately the Charagma. Have been warning nonstop about this. All right, and again, a lot of Americans are watching and listening and getting hip to the game. All right, about what's coming. But again, it's up to the Lord, Yahweh Shai, who takes this and who doesn't take it. Again, the elect is going to take it, and the 2/3 are the elect's not going to take it, and the 2/3 are going to take it. It's Revelation chapter 3, verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience. Is all Israel keeping the words of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's patience? No, they're not. All right. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation. And what's the end goal of what's the end, the ultimate end of the hour of temptation? What is the hour of temptation? Salakia, pretty much. When they implement the Karagma, when they make the Karagma mandatory. All right. I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world in the uncommanded sense, because it's going to be required everywhere for people to take it, upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth, right? To dwell upon the earth. So that's everybody, all Israel, scattered everywhere. Is going to face this test, and only the elect is going to pass it with flying colors, but the 2/3 are going to fail it miserably. All right. Verse 11, behold, I come quickly, hold that fast, hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. Right, because if you take the Karagma, you're going to lose your crown, meaning you'll have to die on this side in America, be burnt alive in nuclear destruction by the nuclear warheads, and then come back later on in life in the kingdom of heaven, which you shouldn't want. Even though you're coming back in the kingdom of heaven, you still shouldn't want that, man. You should want eternal life. You should want to die for Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's sake, namesake. All right, you got to pray to the Lord keep you in that same mindset through these perilous times to come. All right, but again, the ones who the Lord don't want to take it, they're not going to take it, and the 2/3 they are going to take it, and they're going to suffer destruction. They're going to die, suffer the second death, which is going to be by way of nuclear destruction. All right, before I go there, let's get this real quick. Romans. This is Romans chapter 11, verse 7. What then? Israel have not attained that which he seeketh for. All right, which is this truth ultimately. Which is this truth? All right, what the Quran, the true names of our God, who you really are. What Revelation chapter 13, verse 16 and 17 is talking about. The election have obtained that. All right, this truth. That's why again, the large number of people in America are opposing it. But again, at the end of the day, it only matters who the Lord doesn't want to take it. Who the Lord is going to keep from the hour of temptation. That's only going to be the elect. The 2/3, the Lord's not going to preserve them for it. They're going to bend over. All right, just like with the C-19 when that came, a lot of jakes were saying they weren't going to take that. They weren't going to take the test. They weren't going to take the knockout punch. But look what happened. They took it. A large majority of our people took it. All right, why? Because the Lord's not dealing with them. A lot of them. All right, well, the Lord's not dealing with. Now, am I saying just because they took that don't mean the Lord couldn't spare them from the Karagma? The Lord may spare them from the Karagma. A lot of them could have repented and realized they made a mistake, and the Lord could spare them. But a large majority of them, the Lord's going to destroy them because they're just down with this system, man. A large majority of them. All right. What then? Israel have not obtained which he's seeking for, but the election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded. Right. The rest were blinded. All right. According to this written, Yahweh had given them the spirit of slumber. Because like I said, some of them have no opinion on it at all. And those are the ones that are in a deep sleep. The spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear unto this day. And David said, King David said, let their table be a snare and a trap and a stumbling block and a recompense unto them, that their eyes be darkened that they may not see and bow down their back away. And they can't see, they're blind, man. All right, they're blind. They're not paying attention to nothing. And when this system comes, the day of the Lord is going to overtake them as a thief, and they're going to end up taking it. And what's going to happen? The Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, is going to smoke them alive, going to roast them. All right, in that nuclear destruction. This Revelation chapter 19, I think 19 and 19. Revelation chapter 19, verse 19. And I saw the beasts and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse, which is the Lord Yahweh Shai. All right, and the white man and all the other nations, and against his army, which is the angels. When you read further up, it tells you that. Verse 20, and the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet, and that wrought miracles before them, which he deceived them that had received the mark of the charagma, the sihib, the MOTB, and them that were cast alive, because they're going to get tricked into taking it. All right, they're going to get tricked into taking it. And them that worshipped his image, those both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. Right, so they're going to be destroyed. All right, because they're going to get deceived into taking it. The cyber, the money is whatever they could say it. Who knows how they're going to do it? I believe it's going to be hyperinflation from the crash of the petrodollar in Saudi Arabia. But I'm just speaking as a man when I say that. Either that, or they're going to play the disease card again and say the cash is spreading on the disease is spreading through cash and push it out the way that way. Just speaking as a man, kind of how the two things I believe is going to happen. And then when they come with the Fed Now thing, they'll blame cyber attacks on people's credit cards and things like that. Like Klaus Schwab said about cyber attacks, nobody's paying attention about that. And I believe that'll push that out of the way. And then ultimately they'll say, well, there's no way they could hack somebody can hack your charagma because it's a personal ID barcode on it or whatever they'll say. All right, so and they'll make it mandatory by that. I'm just speaking as a man. I don't know how the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to do it, but we know it's coming, and they're going to be deceived into taking it, and the ones that are going to take it, which is going to be a large majority of our people, are going to be destroyed. All right, only a small number of our people is not going to take it, and that's the elect. This is Revelation chapter 15, verse 2. And I saw, as it were, a sea of glass mingled with Christians are going to take it. All the Christians are going to take it because they got no faith. Everybody sitting in a fucking Christian church are all juiced up, man. Majority of them are all juiced up, and that shows they got no faith at all. They're talking all this shit, about believing in the Most High and all of that, which is they don't have everybody in that sitting in that church house. All of them are taking the taking the C19, man, juice. But then they're coming to, they're talking shit about, about their belief. You don't believe in the Most High, man. I guarantee you half of them all got them jab cards in their pocketbooks or in their wallet, man. All right? The Lord's only going to preserve his elect from this, man. That's it. The Lord's only going to preserve his elect. All right? Which if you're in a Christian church, you're not a part of the elect, man. Unless you come out of it. This Revelation chapter 15, verse 2. And I saw, as it were, a sea of glass mingled with fire. And then they had gotten the victory, which is the elect. They're going to get the victory over the beast and over his image and over his mark. And the other number of over the number of his name, standing on the sea of glass, having the harps of Yahweh, looking up from the chairs, watching America burn. That's where you want to be, man. All right? And again, the Lord's only going to preserve his elect from this charagma, man. All right? But the rest of the people, they're going to take it, man. They're going to die a miserable, horrible death, man. Burned alive. All right? And the lake was burned up with fire and brimstone. Did I read that part? I think that's in 19 too. Yeah, I think I did read that part. Yeah, and then both were cast alive in the lake of fire burning with brimstone. I don't remember if I read that part or not. All right, which the lake of fire is going to be America. When America gets hit with so many missiles, it's going to set this bitch ablaze. And our forefather John, what he saw, it looked like a lake of fire, a body of water of fire. That's what he saw. And that's what America is going to be. All right, a large body of fire. All right, a pit of fire, basically. And the ones of our people that the Lord don't want, he's going to make them take the charagma, and they're going to suffer the second death, which is by way of nuclear destruction. All right, so with that, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash, double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and safety to you, brothers, in Princess, truth, and sincerity. With that, I'm going to say shalom.